Hey everyone, this is Ultra Runner. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the newly released Medicom Mafex Daredevil. This is actually a figure I didn't buy like 3 times because I'm not a Daredevil fan. I'm not a big fan of the color red. Um, I just don't really know a lot about him. My experience with Daredevil is the old Affleck movie, with him and Jennifer Garner. Outside of that, that's pretty much about it. But I decided to get him because after my third time of not picking him up, he came back in stock. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and try to go and get him because maybe I'll get him and like him, or maybe I'll get him and he'll be okay. And, I've nothing else, just wanted something to kind of fill out my Marvel comic shelf. And we'll get into what found out about him and what I think. So let's move to the reviewing area. All right, we'll start with the box. So let me back this up a bit here. So you've got the typical Mafex box for their comic line, with the one exception. This actually has comic print inside, which is a super cool take on how they normally do these comic boxes. And as you can see, it goes through the top of the box. It goes along the side panels. A couple different looks of him. And then if you open the bottom, this is actually the way I open my figures, is there inside as well. So you can kind of get a better look at that. But I think that was super neat. Wish they would have done that for the Captain America. They just released, but neither here nor there. But yeah, you've got great looking box. I would definitely say one of the best they've done. We got a picture of him on the side in a pose. We've got legal information on the bottom. You've got another picture of him on the side there, the actual figure, and then the figure and a ton of his accessories on the back. And on the top, of course, you've got the comic book logo and then his name. So, yeah, pretty cool. Definitely a good box design for those who keep boxes. And I do keep my Mafex and SHF boxes. That's really the only ones I do, just because storing these accessories outside of that is kind of a pain. So, but what you come with is a very array of hands. You've got a couple different batons and a couple different head sculpts. So we'll jump right in to the head sculpt. So one of the alternative head sculpts you get, in addition to a neutral that comes on his face, is the Screaming head sculpt. Great paint, really good expression for that mouth open, because a lot of times they just don't do that right. And I think they nailed it with him. There's even a little bit of pink inside the mouth. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting, but just overall, head sculpt's very good. And then for the alternatives, like the gritting face, or gritting teeth, should I say. That's another good one as well. Very, very good. I think they did a great job with that one as well. And then for his batons, they come in a couple different ways. Or actually, his baton holder that goes on the side. So the one I have on him now you can see there's no white on it at all. And then you get one that has 2 batons, and it just pegs into his side, one with the rope and one without. And then you get, for an alternative look, you get one with 1 baton missing. So like he's got in his hand. And then you get the one on him that's empty. You get 2 different examples of the baton that comes in the holder, in his holster. So one with just the stick, and then one with the stick and the rope on it. And then you get 2 examples of the wired rope, which is this one here with the baton and the hook on the end. And this is actually bendable wire, just like what comes in like the capes. And so I haven't unwound this one yet, but yeah, it's just a regular wire. And then you come with the one that has the two batons that I have from using now. And they're fully formable. So it was really neat. So like in this case here, the wire's pretty strong because if you look at the different angles, the wire's not even touching him. And that was the whole point. It's kind of like he just landed and was kind of looping it around him. And the wire holds pretty good. I mean, I could probably go through and do a little bit better job of smoothing out the lines, but I would definitely say, it's for a wire. I mean, it's what it's supposed to do. And I wasn't expecting that at all. Like I said, I really wasn't expecting much with it because, like I said, I don't know much about Daredevil. So for me, it was more along the lines of just a really cool comic book character that I could, check out. So, but again, I'll just take this out here. And they just slide right in to the holding hands, essentially. And like I said, this just pegs right out. And the other one just pegs right in. So super simple. And I do like that way of doing it versus having it where it goes in and out. So if you had them in a weird pose, you have to worry about the baton falling out. That's one thing Mafex and they said do really well is giving it some really clean alternative looks versus just trying to make it work. Kind of like they do with the lightsabers. Instead of having a lightsaber with the hilt, with the blade activated, and you take the peg in and out, you have one that has it in and one that has it out. So definitely gives you a better look. So, but as far as and of course it's the neutral head scope here. So just pretty good, nothing crazy. But as far as the figure itself, I was not expecting this much wash and this much paint, but all that in the center and the muscle area, that's all dark paint. Underneath the arms and the thighs, it gives it a real distinct real world look. And a little bit I know from Daredevil, him being in Hell's Kitchen, not the cleanest area. So the fact that the suit's super clean, but it has a little bit of this kind of grunginess to it, definitely is super neat. And then the sculpted D's, of course, is great. It's not painted on. And then the contrast between the boots and the gloves and the wrist and the D, of course, and the belt to the rest of the figure is pretty stellar. His build is definitely a different build from the other Mafex figures. Like, I don't think I have one that really has this slender of a body and that muscular. That was a video I did a couple days ago with Captain America. But he's definitely kind of got a more Spider-Man-esque feel. I don't have a Spider-Man, Mafex Spider-Man yet. I'm actually got the whole No Way Home group pre-ordered. So, but I would definitely say it's good sculpt. Great flexibility, typical Mafex sub, but I think this guy's a little bit more flexible than most of the other Mafex figures I've dealt with. But just across the board, I mean, this guy's pretty standard and pretty stellar. No matter what you want to do with them, no matter what look you're getting for them, just does an amazing job. And, just great figure across the board. So, again, like I say, for me, this is not anything I'm kind of fanboying over. Because, like I say, I'm really not a Daredevil fan at all. This is just probably one of those situations where it's a great looking figure. And I was like, let me just try to pick it up. Because sometimes you just kind of respect how good a figure is well and how figure good is and how well it's executed. And I think the look and execution for this one is top notch. I definitely can't complain. And I'm glad I have them in the collection. I mean, is it a necessity for me? Probably not. I think if he would have been readily available or sold out and wouldn't have been back in there, I would have not gotten him. Like I say, because he didn't sell out for literally until like the last few weeks. And then all of a sudden, I was like, well, let me just, now that he's back in stock, let me try to pick him up. And I picked him up. And then after that, he's gone. And like, that's it. And now you can't get him. Now they're on Evil Bay for $150, $200 now, which is crazy. So, but let's drop a couple comparison here and we'll get in and out. First, we'll put them next to the newest release from Mafex. These two guys kind of came out, within a couple days of each other. That's the Captain America comic suit. And then you also have this is an older one. This is actually the reissue of the Cyclops from X-Men. Again, like I say, in a setting, like this, pretty good. I did think this body was the same, but it's actually not. There's a lot more sculpting into Scott than there is in the Daredevil suit. So it's definitely a different book, and maybe they just modified it. But again, for this comic look, definitely great there. Side by side. If you're looking to do them into like a live action version, I'll get a couple comparisons for that as well. All right, and then you got a couple more to look at. Put them here with, this is the Avengers, the Avengers. What is the Avengers Assemble? Yeah, this is the Avengers Assemble edition, Black Widow by SHF. Definitely one of my favorite Black Widows. And you've got the Mafex Captain America Classic suit. Again, I think because of how his suit works, to me, that works really good in that universe if you wanted to do that. Definitely not an issue at all. And then last but not least, put on with my favorite kit bash. This is my worthy Sam Wilson, Captain America from Brave New World. And so, again, like I say, he fits in really well. I think so much better than the Captain America that came out, because this Captain America suit is very cartoonish. Whereas, this just looks like a really polished, muted version of a comic book suit that I think you could probably just thrust into there and would actually work pretty well. But yeah, I'd say he's definitely a figure. I don't know if I know he's probably leagues better than the Marvel Legend version, but as a non-Daredevil fan, I could definitely honestly say I could have lived without this in my collection. But so if he stays, that's great. If he doesn't stay, I mean, that's great too. But the figure itself, I have to respect how great a job they did with the paint, the sculpt, the articulation, the accessory that came with it, and like I said, all the myriad of hands, Mafex flight stand, a whole nine. So, yeah, just let me know what you guys think. I'm not super high on Daredevil, but I think this figure is pretty stellar. And if somebody wants to use it to probably do some kit bashing, it might not be a bad idea either. I don't know who you make off of it, but I think the build and the sculpt is definitely pretty nice. So, and I think as far as the head pegs, there's been an issue with the head pegs lately for a lot of these new Mafex. I'm going to try this cap here and see how it works. But they've been changing the pegs around like crazy. Yeah, even there, that's a different peg. Yeah, I don't know why, like, they just varying pegs from figure to figure, but whatever. It's not a big deal. But I guess if you guys want to do different head sculpts on it, the good thing about these Mafex pegs, you can just heat the head up a little bit, and you can drop almost any on there, because I was doing a little bit of kit bashing looking for some other options. So, but cool. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Later.